going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the channel. We got, what, about 3 dozen or so people here. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. Good to see you. Thanks to everybody for being here, as always. It's always nice to come on here and see people waiting. Really cool. So thanks for being here. I always like to give it a little time to let more people join in. Got people chiming in on the chat. Guys, gals, if you could let me know, please, if you can see me and hear me okay, I would appreciate that. I'm on the boat. The signal's good here, but I always like to know that that everything's coming through. Lima Charlie. There we go. Todd's letting me know loud and clear. Hey, Jeff. Hey, John. Mark Pearson, all's good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Tim Potter, Salmon Stalker, Bob Hunter. Getting some thumbs up coming in. I appreciate that also. Sounds and looks good. I think we're stretching on the looks good there, Jeff, but I appreciate that, buddy. Open Water Mike, good to see you. Kirk, good to see you. Meat Man, still cracks me up on that name. Bill Gerlach, good to see you. Johnny Quest, lot of names on here that I recognize. Always good to see the new names also. Will Spencer, good to see you. Lady Stanley, Brian, or Byron rather, Bavard. James Bailey, yeah, a lot of names on here that I see every week that I recognize from many streams over and over and over and over. It's always good to see those people coming back. Thanks to everyone that has been here since the beginning. Like I said, we've been doing this now. Like I think it's over 3 years now. We've been doing these Sunday night live streams without just taking a few days off here and there, but. Yeah, you guys have been with me through thick and thin, but I always come on here and see some new names as well, and that's always really cool to me. And so just like that, we're up to 100 people within just a couple of minutes of starting this thing off. Pardon the background, I got some lures back here I'm going through, and I just got them in bags, getting ready to get them out, get them ready for the really, the heavy intense season that's coming up. It's right around the corner. I mean, we're going to get slammed here. The fishing is stupid good up and down the lake right now, just stupid good. And we'll have like 2 or 3 good days and then like a stinker day thrown in, and that just happens. But we'll talk about that. Let's do the fishing report right now. Right now. We'll get that right out of the way. We got 115 people here, so we might as well go ahead and get right into that. Like I said, the fishing up and down the lake right now is just really, really outstanding. Reminds me back in like 2012 when we had just tons of bites, but a lot of small fish. We're still getting the occasional adult. I didn't fish this weekend. I'll tell you that right now. I did not fish this weekend. I was down in the Detroit area for a wedding with my wife, and so I didn't get to fish. But the people I have talked to over the last few days, it's been pretty darn solid. A couple boats I talked to went out and had over 20-30 bites in this area, and some of the other boats that I know down south of here are also doing those kinds of numbers. And it's really not one rhyme or reason right now because the temperature break is still all over the place. They're not really set up on anything. You just find the pot of fish and it's game on, and it could be anything from a 2-color out to a 450 copper, and really anything in between, whether it be plugs, flash, or fly. Although I have heard spoons has been about the best going out there. Then again, I talked to another boat who said all his bites came on flash or fly. And again, so it's nothing really, it's nothing we can lock down on one thing saying, okay, this is the area because the temps are exactly this and the currents are exactly this and it's this time of the year, so they're around the pier heads. It's nothing like that we can absolutely lock down. It's just a lot of fish out there. I think that's the biggest factor of the whole thing is there's just a lot of fish out there. But the majority of the fish out there are juveniles. I know that some of the adults have run the river already because I talked to one person who was down by Tippy Dam who said there was a good number of adult salmon down there at the dam already. So just a ton of juveniles out there. And again, I mentioned this already. This reminds me of 2012 when we had just really stupid good fishing. We'd go out there and have a 3-man limit in an hour and a half, but they were all 8 to 12 pound kings. We weren't getting the large fish. And then of course the pendulum swung. In the last couple of years we've been getting a little lesser numbers but bigger fish. I'm hoping, I'm still crossing those fingers right there, I'm still hoping that the numbers are going to be really good this year with again that same class of fish that we've had over the last couple of years with those 20 to 25 30 plus pound fish coming in on a regular basis. I'm still crossing my fingers. I still think there's a very good chance of that happening. So I'm not going to get discouraged at all. But yeah, so the fishing report, just get out there. Really, just get out there and go for it. If you're not getting bit, take a little gamble. Move someplace you haven't been before. Excuse me. Look for those fish because they're definitely out there right now, and they're definitely in really good numbers. But like I said, spoons seem to be the ticket right now. The trend that I've noticed over the last couple of weeks, and this goes back to matching the hatch. I've talked about that before. Match the hatch when you clean your fish and you look inside the bellies. Take a look at what the alewives look like or what they're feeding on. We're seeing tons and tons of those 2 to 3 inch alewives out there right now in the bellies and floating on the surface of Lake Michigan and up on the shores. So super slim spoons, Dreamweaver super slim spoons have really been the ticket for me, and I know a lot of other boats around here. Everything yellow's been good, you know, and I'm not going to give you any specifics on spoons because you can really just now go with the color. But yellow, the yellow ice, the A-bomb has been spectacular for me the last couple of weeks. The gold goose has been spectacular for me. Again, that's got some nice yellow in it. The normal Rasta goose has been really, really good. The stinger, yellow tux, has been really, really good. Of course, we got to go back to the green or the glow frog with a white belly. That's been good. My moonshine mags haven't been doing much at all. It's been the smaller spoons. That yellow, it's a brand, I think I might have, let me see if I can grab that real quick. Pardon me. A new one from Moonshine, and like I said, the mags have not been working for me. If it's different in your area, hey, that's cool. It's just around here that has not been for me. The new Moonshine, this is called the Yellow Gobi. The new Gobi series they have comes in yellow, blue, and green, and they're in the RV, so it's got the RV tape over it. That thing's been really good lately as well. So I've been noticing yellows and blues have been favorable over other colors right now. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have this new Gobi spoon series from Moonshine, grab it up because I don't think they're going to be around much longer as good as they are. So if you got them in your area, you want to grab some, I would do it. And that leads me back to the colors I was talking about. Blues, like I said, the A-bomb, the blue dolphin glow, the blue dolphin UV, the green blue dolphin, the green dolphin. Those colors have been producing. And the mixed veggies. Trying to think what else is right down that line. Like I said, the yellow ice UV, all those have been producing well. If you're going to run meat rigs, I would highly recommend running something with some yellow in it or some blue or green. I mean, most meat rigs are blue or green anyway, but mix some yellows in there also. It seems like yellow has been a hotter color around here as of late. Like I said, that GRC trolling flies meat rig that I was running, that lime juice was producing really well. If you don't have that, I would also highly recommend getting that in your arsenal. That's going to be a really good one. That's going to be a really good one. All right, so that's really it on the fishing report. I wish I had something a little bit more specified to tell you all, but there's just a lot of fish out there. Go out there, find a pod of them, and work it. Just work that thing over and over again. I think you're going to get a lot of good bites. If you get on a really good troll where all your gear is running really, really well and you're getting consistent bites, maybe not crazy lights out bites, but good consistent bites, one every 15 to 20 minutes, stay on that troll. You're doing a good thing. All right, cool, thank you. Hey, before I forget, don't forget please that these Sunday night live streams are proudly brought to you by Dreamweaver Lures. Check them out at dreamweaverlures.com. Typically, everything I talk about during these videos, there are links down in the description, so you're welcome to check those out once we are done. Tonight's topic is salmon fishing jargon. A bunch of questions that I get asked quite often, and I hear other captains or other just anglers asking each other. And it's something when I first started off, when I heard like a couple of guys talking about, hey, we were fishing the nines, and you know, and and speed over ground or SOG was such and such, and we were in this foot of water, and I mean, it just sounded like absolute gibberish to me. But as I learned over time what all those little meanings stood for, it really became pretty clear to me. Fishermen have their own language. If you don't know that already, oh, you betcha, you betcha we do. We definitely speak in a language all our own, and if you're not privy to some of that, I'm going to catch you up to speed tonight. Hopefully, I'll cover everything that maybe you might have questions on. If I miss a saying or some verbiage, please put it in the chat. And if I know what it means, I'll be happy. I won't make anything up. If I know what it means, I'll be happy to answer it. But if anybody else knows what it means, please chime in, and we'll get those things covered. But before I do that, I got a couple housekeeping things to get through. One is Matt Presnitz's channel giveaway. He sent me 6 packs, really good packs of fishing gear. New flasher from Dreamweaver, flies, meat rigs, you name it, it's in this pack. They are amazing. I'm going to start giving those away on next Sunday's live stream. I'll give away 3 on next Sunday's live stream and 3 on the Sunday after that. These are for Patreon supporters, so if you support us on Patreon, you're eligible for those prize giveaways. And also, if you support us on Patreon for a pledge of more than $30 in 1 calendar year, you're eligible for a free salmon charter on this boat with me on a date of your choice. We do that giveaway every January 1st of every year. So if you want to support us on Patreon, that's great. Patreon.com, and then just look up Tangle Tackle Fishing. So that's coming up, like I said, next week and the following week after that. The next thing is I've had 2 cancellations. I don't know what's going on with the cancellations with me right now. I don't know if I'm under a bad moon or something. But I had a cancellation next Saturday and next Sunday now. And one person told me a friend was injured at work. I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope that person gets better. The other person really didn't give me a reason. Maybe gas prices has something to do with it. Not quite sure. But as of right now, I have next Saturday morning and next Sunday morning open. If you want to get out there and go, I think the fishing is going to be good. There's never a guarantee, but I think we're going to do good. Give me a call, 231-252-1177, or text me at that number. Or shoot me an email, christangletackle@gmail.com. Again, 231-252-1177. I'm going to throw this. I normally don't do this, but I definitely want to book these dates. If you book with me on any of those 2 dates, I'll knock $50 off your trip. If you book both dates with me, I'll knock $100 off each trip. So if you book them both, hey, I want Saturday and Sunday, I'll give you $100 off both of those trips. Not collectively. 100 off Saturday, 100 off Sunday. So be happy to get you guys out if you want to go. Grab some friends. Just come out, have a good time. All right, so those are available. I hope somebody gets in touch with me. If you want them, call me. I'll hold them until somebody calls me and books it with me. All right. And the last thing I want to cover is, sorry, Bill Gerlach saying, yeah, I'm not alone. You've seen other cancellations. Yeah, I know I'm not alone, but a week away, it makes it really hard to refill those dates. And but hey, it happens. I get it. I totally get it. And then the last thing I wanted to say before we get into tonight's topic is, if you subscribe to this channel, great. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm trying to build the subscriber count up. I'd love to see it get up to 15,000 by the end of August, sometime around September. That's what I'm really pushing for. I think a lot of the people watch this Sunday night live stream, they consider this kind of a one-trick pony channel, possibly. We just do the Sunday night live streams. You might not know this, but I put out a lot of content midweek as well. Over the last couple of weeks, I put a couple videos out during the week, and a couple of those things, well, a lot of those things I'm sure a lot of people will like. In fact, just this last week, I put out a video chronicling our Tight Lines for Troops event this last year, going out with the veterans, having a good time with them, doing the fishing. I chronicle what we caught everything with, and it's just a good time. So if you want to see more content like that, if you subscribe to the channel, there's a little bell icon up there. Click on that. You will be notified every time we put a video out. And again, I'm putting content out almost all the time. And even down below, if you want to follow us on social media, I put things out there, Facebook, Instagram. Those links are down below as well. Feel free to jump on those. If you like doing Facebook, Instagram, things like that, I do put things out like in or midweek fishing reports, things like that. Some video content out sometimes on those as well. So feel free to jump on, follow us there also. All right, appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get this thing built up. The only people that can help me do it are you. So if you do get anything out of these videos and you want to say thank you in anywhere in the smallest way possible, just subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like, comment, share. It's the easiest way to do it, and I do sincerely appreciate it. All right. Let me see if I got any comments coming in that I want to handle before we get into tonight's topic. All season angler, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I'm going to catch that message a little later. I didn't get to read it all, but thank you very much for the super chat. That does help the channel. Thank you. All right. Here we go. Tonight's topic. Now, I'm like I said earlier, the fishermen, anglers, we have a language all our own, and it took me a while to catch on to what the heck everybody was talking about. Like I said, I listened to a couple charter captains talk about, you know, hey, we fished the 9s, or we fished the 4s, and or we were offshore, we were at the 40 line. You know, the SOG was 2.7, and but the speed at the ball was 2.1. Whatever, guys. I have no idea. I just drive out in the lake and go fishing. I was probably lucky I caught anything at that time. But yeah, honestly, there's a whole dictionary of things that anglers use, especially, well, not just especially, but all anglers, but salmon fishermen included. We have our own little verbiage here, our own little dictionary. And if you don't know what these things, and I wrote some down, I'm sure there's going to be some that I miss. But if you don't know the language, you might miss out on a lot. So we're going to start really, really basic. Downriggers. If you don't know what a downrigger is, they're sitting on the back of my boat right there. What they are a system designed with a heavy weight to take your line down to a certain depth. When a fish bites that lure, it releases from that heavy weight, and you are free to fight the fish. I will do a video actually upcoming, soon, probably in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to go over downriggers, little tips and tricks that I know, and little ways to really utilize them. A lot of people say downriggers are dead. I totally disagree. Totally disagree. I still have days where my downriggers are my best tool. So I'm going to do a video here in a few weeks where it's showing, or I show you exactly how I run my downriggers, little tips and tricks that I do to help everybody out. So downriggers, we cover that. Also known as riggers. I can't think of really any other nicknames for them. Divers. Okay, so divers, everybody calls them dipsies, and that goes back to, really, a dipsy diver is a Lure Jensen product, but everybody calls them dipsies. So if you think, if anybody says, hey, dipsies, our dipsies were such and such, they're really talking about divers. And divers are made by Dreamweaver, Lure Jensen. There's a bunch of other companies out there that make divers. Excuse me. The most basic thing to know is there's two types. There are fixed divers, which I run primarily, and there's pros and cons to each of these. There's fixed divers and slide divers. Slide divers have the ability for you to set the amount of lead back that you want to run. Fixed divers are a fixed lead off the back of your diver, and I have a ton of videos on this channel showing how I run my divers, how I set up my divers, how I set up my slide divers. All those things are covered on a multitude of videos on this channel. But the most basic thing with divers is fixed divers, fixed leads, slide divers, adjustable leads. And then there's also other diver systems out there, like there's a channel called No Fish Nick. He has something called a secret weapon diver. I've had people ask me about that, or SW Dipsy, I think he calls it. I've never done it. I've had people that have and have talked to me, and they said it works well. It's just something I've never tried. So there's other options as well. All right. Long lines. All right. Long lines, it can seem really, really simple. And I know a lot of this is just ABCs for most of you. But for the person that catches this video and they don't know any of these things, bear with me, please. In fact, share your knowledge down below in the comments, please. Long lines can get a little confusing. If you think about it, though, they're really simple. You have lead core, you have copper, and you have weighted steel. Each one of those is a weighted line, although each one is designed differently and looks different. Each one is a weighted line designed to get your depths down to a certain bait. Each one has its own sink rate. Each one has its own characteristics. But but each one is designed to get your lures down to a certain depth. And there are charts out there, dive charts, depth charts up the kazoo, to figure out exactly where your baits are likely running based on how much line you have out and what the speed is that you're traveling. Here's where it gets a little confusing on long lines, because I get calls like this or emails like this all the time. Hey, I wanna add some wire to my boat. What do you recommend? And the first thing I have to ask, okay, are you talking about steel, weighted steel, or are you talking about diver line? Because wire diver line is completely different than weighted steel. And a lot of times I get the, hey, I don't know, I'm just trying to add something to my boat. Can you describe them for me? And I go into detail. Diver line is a wire line. It has no weight to it. It just holds your divers. Weighted steel is completely different. It has a sink rate and will take your lures down to a depth. So I think that's where some people get a little confused on long lines. When they hear wire and then weighted steel or copper, they get those intertwined, if that's a word, intermingled in their head, and you can get a little confused on that. So make sure if you're setting up a combo of some kind, that you're getting the right thing on there that you want. If you got any questions, like I said, you can always email me, christangleTackle@gmail.com. I'm going to cover that again real quick if you'll bear with me. Please, if you want to contact me, do it that way, christangleTackle@gmail.com. I don't know how you guys and gals do it, but I will get calls on my regular phone. I will get emails on my regular email, my charter email. I will get texts on my, like I said, my regular phone, my regular line. I don't know how you guys get. It's crazy, but you guys find it. I don't know how you do it, but you do. But please, if you want to Facebook is another one. A lot of questions coming on Facebook, and I don't check Facebook as much as I check my email or Instagram. If you want to ask me a question, I'll be happy to answer it for you. Just please refer them to christangleTackle@gmail.com. I check that one 3 times a day. That you're going to get the best response that way. Okay, just want to make sure everybody was up to date on that. Excuse me. All right, and I covered this already. Wire line versus steel line. We talked about that. If you have a question on that, please, please, please email me. Call the shop. We're happy to talk to you there as well. All right. Here's another one I get a question on almost every time I have a charter. What's a Twilly Tip? They're looking at my diver rods, and out on the end of my diver rods are little springs where the wire line runs through there, and almost daily I get a question, or every trip almost, what is that thing out there on the end of that rod? It's a Twilly Tip. If you've seen them, you know what I'm talking about. If you use them, you definitely know what I'm talking about. A Twilly Tip is just a spring. That's all it is. The wire runs through that spring, and it's because all that tension is on the very end of that rod. You know, if you run your line up through there going out, all that tension is really right there at the tip. That spring keeps that wire line from digging into that end. All right, it saves your rod. It gives you a lot longer life on your rod. Excuse me. All right, some other basics. FOW, foot of water. How many feet of water are you in? If you hear somebody on the radio say, what's your FOW? Most of the time they're going to ask you how deep you are. But if you hear FOW, it means feet of water. How deep you fishing? That's the depth that you're fishing. Now, how deep your lures are, it's how deep you are fishing. SOG, speed over ground. Not judged by the fish hawk, but speed over ground is judged by your GPS. So if you're doing 2.7 on your GPS, that is your speed over ground. Speed at the ball. That is your fish hawk speed, down at your fish hawk, wherever you're running that thing. If you're running, if you look at your speed over ground, SOG, you're 2.7, and you look at your fish hawk and you are 2.1 at speed at the ball, now you know the difference. Down temp, what's your down temp? You hear that a lot on the radio too, or you hear people talking about, what was your down temp? That is the temperature where you are running your probe. So if I'm running my probe, say on a certain day at 60 feet, and I look at my down temp and it was 48 degrees, that's my down temp. All right. Where do I want to go next? The shelf. Let's talk about the shelf, or the bank, a lot of people call it. I get this question often. We hear you guys talk about the shelf or the bank. What is that? Does every port have it? How do I find it? The quick answer is the shelf is a piece of structure off Manistee. It really starts down by Ludington. It goes all the way up to Tim Potter, your dog. Thanks for the super chat, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, buddy. Nice of you. Yeah, starts down by Ludington, goes up to near the near Frankfurt area. And what that is just a drop off. Some people call it the shelf. Some people call it the bank. More often than not, I hear the shelf. And what that is when you're trolling out or you're running out in the morning and you're getting to about the 2.5 to 3 mile mark going west, you'll watch the water depth go from 60, all of a sudden shoot down to 100, 120 pretty darn quick. That's the shelf. That's the bank. That structure is fairly unique to this area. Like I said, from Ludington up to the Frankfurt area, fish love structure. They thrive for it. They look for it. They like the way it moves the water. They like the way it moves the bait. So that structure, that bank, that shelf, that holds bait, that's where the fish are going to be. So that's why we're really lucky. That's what makes Manistee, Ludington, this area, really the world-class fishery that it is. It's that bank out there that holds those fish. So that's what the shelf is. That's what the bank is. And actually, there's two more past that. There's actually 3 shelves. The further you go offshore, you'll find 2 more as you keep going to the west. Now, again, this is for this area. It's different in your area. So when people ask me, hey, can I find the bank if I'm fishing out of Muskegon? The answer is no. I know Muskegon is really flat for a long way as you go to the west. Wisconsin, I don't know Wisconsin well, but from what I've heard, a lot of the places are very similar to Muskegon. Again, that's the bank and the shelf is what makes Manistee, Ludington, just the lights out fishery that it can be. Excuse me. I mentioned the word offshore. What is offshore? Now this is a vague term, but you hear it all the time. But to me, it's because one person's version of offshore is different than another person's version of offshore. For me, offshore is anything past really the first shelf or the first bank. When I start getting out 7 or 8 miles to the west, I start considering that more and more offshore. There's no like one design line, there's not a person out there sitting in a boat, welcoming you to the offshore fishery. It's just as you get deeper, that's considered more and more offshore. Some people consider offshore 20 miles. It is for me also, but they don't consider it being offshore until they get way out there. I consider offshore, like I said, 7, 8 miles, 10 miles, somewhere in that range. That's when I start feeling like I am offshore. So, excuse me, the fishery is really different offshore. It's something you got to learn, same as your inshore fishery, but it can be very productive out there. We'll talk about a couple other things related to that here in just a second, but a lot of good fishing out there. The only thing I always say this about, whenever I mention offshore, I always want to throw this out there also. The weather can change quickly on this lake. If you're going offshore, make sure you got a boat that can handle it and a crew that can handle it, and you got all your safety gear, because you can get stuck out there in a hurry. And I remember one day I was in a little boat, like 16-footer. This is years ago. And I got caught offshore in a quick storm that I did not know it was coming. And it was white knuckle all the way back into port. And I did not like that one iota. And if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure a lot of people out there are nodding their heads right now because you've probably been there. Make sure you got the equipment to get you out there and back. All right, so that's offshore. Let's talk about latitude, longitude, the numbers that we use all the time. You'll hear this on the radio. Hey, where are you at? I'm in the 12s. Where are you at? I'm in the 9s. Where are you at? I'm in the 6s. Where are you at? I'm in the 22s. This comes from latitude and longitude numbers. I'm going to show you a little map right here. So this actually might be easier if I just set it on the table and grab the camera. Let me do that. Bear with me. Flip this around. All right. Latitude and longitude. You really don't have to remember which one is which. That really doesn't matter. When you hear people talking about, let's look at this. So here's Manistee, okay, on this map. By the way, this is a surface temperature map. This is back from February, so don't pull anything off this map. By the way, this is a great system. This is the NOAA surface temp map. You can find it on their website. Great system, way to find surface temperatures out there. If you didn't know about this, I highly recommend checking this out daily. But I will say this, be careful. When you see dark areas like this, that is cloud cover. those will not be accurate readings in those dark, and it might be black like this, it might be a dark gray. But if you see numbers in those areas, do not trust them. Look for the areas that are clear, like this over here. Those are going to be your accurate readings. Ask me how I figured that out. Okay, anyway. So here we are, Manistee. We're sitting just below the 20 line. All right, and you can see as we go south, 10 line, the 0 line, because that's going to start every 60. So you're going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. When you get to 0, it goes back, or when you get to 60, it goes back to 0, and then it starts again 10, 20 on up. So for my area, Manistee sits right at about on the 14, 15 line, something like that. As you go south, so if I'm going to be fishing, say this area right here, this is the shoreline as it runs down. If I'm fishing this area, like right here, if I look on my north number on my GPS, remember this is your north number. If I look at my north number, the first set of number, or not the first set, but the ones just after the 48 or whatever, it may be the 44, that's your north number. So I'm going to be in the 10s. As I go south, if I want to go really, really far south, all the way down to Ludington, you can see Ludington sitting almost right on the 0 line. So for our area, really, it's 0 all the way on up to like the 25s, 26s, 27s as it goes further north. All right, so now you know. If somebody says they're sitting on the mid-11 line, you know that that number's sitting somewhere right in about there. You can look on your GPS, your north number. You can figure out exactly where you are in relation to where they are. Now, your west number, when we do go offshore, when we get out in these areas way out here, you know, way out, I'll use my spoon, you know, somewhere out in here, we'll still use these north numbers. So like I'm offshore, I'm in the 10s, but I'm out on the 40 line. So the 40 line is right here. That you bring that down, and that's going to give you an idea of where I'm fishing. Here's my 10, my north number. My west number is 40. I'm going to be right in that area right there. All right, hope that makes sense. Sorry about that. We'll jiggle of the phone for a second. All right, so again, that's your north numbers. These are your west numbers as you go out. And it's applicable if you're over in Wisconsin, like this area over here. You know, your numbers are going to be a little different as you're going out. It's going to be the opposite direction, but still your north to south numbers are going to be the same. Hope that makes sense to everybody. If you have any questions on that, feel free to shout them out in the comments or send me an email. I'll answer them for you. But as long as I got this map going and I got my fancy moonshine spoon as a pointer, let's talk about a couple other things out here that are kind of unique to this area. We talked about the bank or the shelf that runs right down this area. Let's talk about, how about the stick? Anybody ever heard, hey, I'm fishing by the stick before? The stick is Big Sable Point right there. There's a lighthouse right there, black and white. That is nicknamed the stick. So if somebody says they're fishing right off the stick, you know they're fishing Big Point. If somebody says they're down by Little Point, okay, that's all the way down here, a little south of Pentwater, a little north of Whitehall, that area. A lot of distance in between there. Somebody says they're running from Manistee down to Little Point, they got a long day ahead of them. That's a lot of distance to cover. All right, so stick is sitting at Big Sable Point. Little Point is all the way down there. And you can see why they're nicknamed that. You can see how that spit of land comes out. Pretty big point right there. And then down here at Little Point. All right. The herring hole. I'm sure people have heard the herring hole before. Actually, it's not on this map. But Onekama sits up in this area. About, 2.5 miles northwest of the port of Onekama is a giant crater. And that's really what it is. It looks like a meteor crater sitting right there in the water. That is called the barrel. Okay, I'm sorry. Did I say the herring hole or the barrel? I'm talking about the barrel right now. If I said something else, I apologize. This is the barrel. The barrel is, like I said, just like a crater. I'm guessing probably millions of years ago, a meteor hit there and made that huge crater, or however else it happened. That can be a really productive place to fish. It's a unique place to fish. You need to have some unique circumstances happen for it to hold fish, but that's a topic for another day. So the barrel sits there off Onekama, like I said, about 2.5 miles northwest. All the way up at Frankfort, there's another piece of structure called the herring hole. That's another thing just like the barrel. It's a big old crater, and it holds fish as well. And that sits about, I want to say, 3 miles southwest of Frankfort. in that area, if you look at your GPS maps, you'll find those things plain as day on there. Really easy to locate. But again, there's some circumstances that have to hold those fish in there. All right. Let me put you back on the camera stand. There we go. There, we're back. All right. So we got the shelf, the bank, the barrel, the herring hole, the stick. Big point. This is not a quiz, but you can quiz yourself if you want to. Little point. Some other things that we talk about. And these are kind of gear related. Hold on, let me move you a little. These are a little more gear related things. Free slider versus fixed slider. A free slider. Who knows what a free slider is? Put it in the comments. No, I'm kidding. Free slider, when you're running your downriggers, with your line off your downrigger, you can take a 6-foot section of mono, put a swivel on each end, attach one swivel to your line off your downrigger rod, another one on a spoon, throw that out there, you got a free slider. It's called a free slider because it will travel freely up and down your line coming off your rod. It will go mainly where the bow is in the line. A fixed slider is something that's fixed in a position. So if I'm running, say I'm running a spoon, say I'm running a Dreamweaver Rasta Goose mag down on my main line on my downrigger, and I want to run a fixed slider, or a fixed slider, I'm sorry. I will say maybe 10 to 12 feet above that. I like running something a little smaller. Same spoon, but smaller. So if I'm running the mag spoon, Dreamweaver mag spoon on my main line, 10 to 12 feet above it, I will put a super slim, same spoon on a fixed slider right above that. And again, I'm not going to go into the details how we set those up. Those are topics that we've covered in a lot of other videos. You're welcome to check those out. And the information's all there. It's all there. You just got to find it. That's what a fixed slider versus a free slider is. And then stacking. Stacking on downriggers is something totally different, is when you add a line off another rod and reel onto your line that's already down there. And that is it's not something I do often. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm just not that used to it. But it's when you're actually running one rod on your downrigger and you're taking a second rod with a separate presentation and actually stacking that onto that pre-existing line. So now you're running two rods onto one downrigger. It can be really effective, but it can also be a freaking nightmare. If that thing can tangle up bad, and it can take you a long time to unnightmare it. It sucks. So just be advised of that. All right? Yeah. All right. That's really all the verbiage I wanted to cover. That's really, I mean, in a nutshell, that'll get you through. But I'm sure you're going to have some questions, some other things out there that maybe you want to know about, some verbiage that you know about. If you do, put them in the comments right now, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. We got 190 people here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks to the super chatters. Thanks to the 45 thumbs up. Hey, one thing I did find out, and I didn't know this, the thumbs up that you guys and gals put on these live videos count towards the algorithm as well. So the more thumbs up you put on these live videos, the more it pushes the video out into the greater world, for lack of a better term. So I do appreciate that. It really does help. Anyway, let's grab some comments. Lady Stanley throwing some thumbs up. Salmon soccer. That's a great question, man. Is an out and down a corner downrigger? Yes. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Chute rigger is your center rigger. Going down the chute. Out and downs are your corners. Yeah. Open Water Mike wants to know his wife likes my bedspread. I got it on Amazon. It matches my cushions on the boat, and yeah, I like it too. Thank you. Just a Pro, does a slider rig count as a second line? No, it does not. It's still, if you got 3 people on board, you can still run slider lines. Slider lines does not count as a second rod. Okay, good question though. Greg Vartan, good to see you. Thanks for the thumbs up, my friend. What else you got? Throw them out there. Trout Grounds, Andy Mays. Yeah, okay, so Trout Grounds. every area has their own. For us, it's Onekama. It really starts 6 feet on Steve Eddy, 6 feet on the slider lines. I saw that come in. Trout grounds around here, though, really start at about the 20s, the 19s to 20s, and can go all the way up to like the 27s. That can be a really, really good area. That's our trout grounds. And the depth's going to vary. The depth is going to vary from day to day, but typically 80 feet deep. I'm talking summertime. 80 feet deep out to like 120 feet deep. Okay? Oh, Thomas Anderson, 3 Lakers on the Bite Me Elmo on a free slider. Good job, man. Bite Me Elmo, that stupid spoon. That thing's so dumb, and it catches fish. Like I said before, I couldn't find that Bite Me Elmo spoon for the life of me. I finally did. Big Red, yeah, we had some alewife die off around here. I'm not sweating the alewife die off. It's, from what I understand, it's a very natural thing, and it's a sign of a very healthy ecosystem. So I'm not sweating that. I'm not. The fish that we're catching still have good alewife in the bellies. And I'm still marking tons of bait out there, tons of it. All right. The other comments came in. They came in so fast. If you had one that I missed, please put it back in there. I'll wait for it. I got plenty of time. We're up to like 200 people now. Thanks everybody for being here. Again, thanks for all the thumbs up. Thanks for the super chats. Like I said, the more you guys and gals can do to help the channel, the more I appreciate all of it. Does color on downrigger weights matter? I don't really think so awful crazy much. I run black downrigger weights just like I run black divers. It's what's always worked for me. There's my sister Laura. Good to see you, Laura. How are you? Some other comments I think flew through there I might have missed, and I'm sorry to make you retype them, but if you want me to answer them, I'm happy to do so. Can you put a cheater spoon on a diver rod? Eric Nearing, you know, I don't know how you would. I think you could, but I don't know how you would. Scott MacArthur wants to know what kind of, this is all, I think this is marine grade plywood behind me, but there's a lot of teak throughout the rest of the boat as well. That's teak, that's marine plywood. I think, though, the rest of the trim is teak, just like on the back. Oh, I got something to show everybody. I got something. Yeah, let's wait here for a second, but yeah, we'll show you here in a sec. You guys are going to like this. Mike F, yeah, Chrome Spin Doctor, Chrome Dreamweaver Spin Doctor with a whirly gig is lights out for lake trout anywhere. You're not just Lake Ontario, my friend. It is lights out anywhere. That is my go-to. Open Water Mike, you're welcome, man. Hey, thanks for being here. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome, but thank you to everyone for being here. I do appreciate it. You guys taking your time out of your day just like I'm doing to be here, so hats off to you also. All right. Comments are slowing down. I'll give you another couple minutes if you want to throw a comment in there. Once we get to that point, I got something on the back of the boat that you're going to want to see. Yeah, Leroy, I hear you, man. The DNR took some serious heat over the last few years. Ever run a twister tail off a spin doctor? Kevin, man, I have not. But why not do it? Why? There's no rule book. And if there was one, if this is a rule book, that's what I'd probably do with it, other than fishing rules, But yeah, just go out there and have some fun. Try different things. You never know what the heck's going to work. But yeah, Leroy Dowding here. The DNR took some serious you-know-what over the last few years about not planting fish. Guys, gals, my opinion is we would have crashed this fishery, crashed it, if we had kept on planting the way everybody wanted us to. This fishery would have been in the absolute crapper if we had kept dumping fish or kept planting fish the way everybody wanted to. It's a delicate balance, and I'll tip my hat to the DNR. They got it right. It's coming back. That's a topic for another time. But yeah, Leroy, I agree with you. They did it right. They took a lot of you-know-what over it, but they did it. All right. Yeah, somebody asked me if it's the flooring on the back of the boat. Yeah, it is. It is. It's installed. I'll show you here in just a second. The bolsters are not done yet. The bolsters are still a couple weeks out, but the flooring is in. It looks absolutely stupid good. I could not be any more happy with the way this flooring came out. I'm going to throw this back out there. If you're looking for the custom foam flooring, it's called Marine Mat. It's very similar, if not the exact same thing as Sea Deck. There is a link down below to custom marine flooring right here in Ludington, Michigan. These guys will travel anywhere in the state to do your boat. They are not just local. I mean, they are local, but they will come to you to do your boat anywhere in the state of Michigan. And they do, I'm looking at it right now, they do stupid good work. I could not be any more pleased the way this came out. The fit is impeccable. I mean, just the way it fits around my seats, around my lure station, the look that it gives to the boat. I can't say anything more than that. The only thing I'll say is this: I got the cover on the back of the boat because it is raining a little right now, so we're not going to get a lot of sun in there. But yeah, let's go take a little look at this right now. All right, I'm going to flip the phone around. We'll go take a little walk here. All right, here we go. So you can see it right now. This is, like I said, it's Marine Mat. This is made to look just like teak. And it has a really, really soft, strong grip finish. You can actually, it's almost like a knurled finish. But just stupid good looking stuff. Let me come back here a little. And you can see how it matches. That's all teak on my inner gunnels. You can see how that color matches it. Matches my lure station right here. Just looks amazing. But I mean, look at the fit that these guys can do. Well, let's around my gas tank hatches. Looks amazing. Around my scuppers. Up here around my seats. You can see just how well that thing fits around that seat. I mean, it's just like millimeters of clearance, but it looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'm so stoked about this. I'm extremely lucky to have it on the boat. But like I said, these guys will do any boat, no matter how big, how small, any job. You want coolers? I got a pad coming for my cooler. I got a pad coming for this seat right here. The bolsters are all going to be redone in a dark gray. Going to look really nice. But these guys will do any boat, no matter how big, how small. I was going to wait to show you guys all this until we got the bolsters done, but heck, I couldn't resist. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. Karen, thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So let's go back down below. But I mean, just look at the fit around here, too. Just beautiful trim. Beautiful trim work. Let's go back down below, though. We'll wrap this thing up. Let me get this thing put back away. There we go. All right. There we go. Everybody, thanks for the nice comments on that. Again, that link is down below. Trajan boats. Yeah. Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks for the nice comments. But the link is down below if you want to get with these guys. They're two of the nicest guys. It's a father and a son that does this. They know boats. They love boats. I wouldn't trust anybody other than these two actually to come in and do the work on my boat. They had that all installed in just a couple hours. It was just amazing. Just amazing. Now, the other huge benefit of it is this. I didn't realize this, but when I started my motors for the first time, after they installed that stuff, it was almost like, it wasn't almost like, it was muffled. It was the vibration that was normally in the boat, just from the motors vibrating a little, smoothed it right out, and it was just like somebody put a muffler on them. Quieted the whole boat down. Just a really nice bonus feature to having that stuff on the boat. The stuff is about that thick. The padding, I got on there with my bare feet and just walked around. My feet and my knees are going to be so much happier with me. They're not going to be yelling at me as I try to go to sleep at night. It's just going to be so much better on everybody, I think. So I'm really excited about it. Thanks for the nice comments. So I'm very lucky to have it on the boat. I know that. But if you want it on your boat, links down below. Give them a call. They'll help you out. All right. We're at 198. We're like 50 minutes in. 67 thumbs up. Kirk, how far do I run my baits behind the ball? 20 feet is my average. All right. What are my thoughts on the DNR planting salmon? I think they got it right. I really do. Maybe this is a popular thought. Maybe it's unpopular. I really don't care. It's my channel. I'll give you my opinion on it. I think the DNR got it right. For years there, 2008 to like 2012, everybody's screaming we need more fish. The fishery's dying. You know, get more fish in there. We're losing business. That we want to catch more fish. If you go back and look at those times compared to what the lake held for forage, if you look at that time, what those kings had to eat, it wasn't there. Those kings, if we'd planted millions of kings out in that lake, they would have died within a couple of years. The food just was not there. The DNR realized that. They held off on planting fish for several years. Very unpopular position to be in. Very angry people. Charter businesses screaming at them, hey, we got mouths to feed. But the DNR, I think, had the mindset, and the right mindset, that they knew this is a marathon. It wasn't a sprint. They knew if they went for the short-term goal of getting more fish in that lake, Lake Michigan would have taken a tumble, and it would have been a big old dead fishery. They waited until the alewife population came back to full strength, or a better strength, and then in the last few years they've started planting more and more and more, and now we're looking at really good stocking numbers here in Manistee, Ludington, Pierre Marquette, the Betsy, and a few others up and down the coast. They know that now that the fishery can sustain it. The food is out there, the alewife population is good, and the fish are going to have something to eat. Without the food, without the food, none of us are going to make it. The fishery is exactly like we are. If the food's not there, they're going to go someplace where the food is, or they're going to die off. It's that simple. All right, so yeah, maybe that's popular opinion, maybe it's unpopular. Like I said, it's my opinion. I think the DNR got it right. As much you-know-what as they took over it, I still think they got it right. Yeah, that's just it, Leroy. The DNR learned the hard way after Huron. Yeah, exactly right. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. You guys are the best. I appreciate you being here every Sunday. It's what gives me motivation to come back here. I love talking to everybody. Thanks for the super chats. Again, thank you. Check out my videos. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Click the notification bell. I put out content throughout all week. There's stuff coming out. Check out that tight lines video from just a couple days ago. I guarantee you're going to like it. Guaranteed, not guaranteed, but this time it's pretty darn well guaranteed. You're really going to like that video. What a great event. Thanks to everybody for being here. Call me if you want to charter. Saturday, Sunday is open. I'll give you $50 off. That's unheard of, especially with the gas prices the way they are. 231-252-1177. I got Saturday and Sunday open. It's going to be good fishing. Fingers crossed. Call me. I'll get you out there. All right, everybody, take care. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next Sunday.